Hi, this is Anushka Sharma and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
Well, we have with us a hugely talented Anushka Sharma, and her film is coming up, NH10, and she's here at the meet and greet with Bollywood Hungama, and the movie is releasing tomorrow. First of all, huge pleasure to have you back on Bollywood Hungama, first of all.
Thank you.
And how was the experience of interacting with your fans today, Anushka?
It was wonderful. I think I always enjoy a one-to-one interaction with fans.
Right.
Because it's nice. I mean, it's an opportunity for me, to kind of meet the people who watch your films. So
right.
It's nice.
Your performance, I think, is incredible. Would you rate it as your best performance ever?
It's very hard for me to actually do that, because a lot of times what happens is something that you do really well and people don't kind of get it. It's very bizarre. Like when my first film happened, I thought like that was like I was like superb in that film.
Right.
But people might not agree to that, So it's really difficult for me to judge that.
You told us that NH10 and Bombay Velvet are the most challenging roles that you've ever faced. But I think the response, whoever has seen NH10 since yesterday and before that, the response has been overwhelming, especially for your performance.
Overwhelming, yeah. Right. It's been like incredible for the film and for the performance also. It's been just amazing. I'm feeling very happy. The
sort of physical grueling session that you've had with this movie, it must have taken a toll, did it?
Yeah, it damaged my back, so I have like a back problem right now because it's kind of kept getting constantly every day. You're running for so many hours, like 13-14 hours. I mean, think about it. It's just and even if you're not running, you're kind of doing it on the spot running, so that you kind of, because in the film you're constantly on the run, right? So you have to have that little bit of that breathlessness happening all the time. It was something that kind of started affecting my body in some time, because I was shooting a song for Dil Dhadakne Do after I shot for NH10. Right. And I was in bad shape, and I had to kind of go through physiotherapy every day because of that, and then shoot the song. So yeah, it took a toll on me physically, because it was a very physically challenging role. Like I said earlier, to keep running through for so many hours in a day.
Absolutely, climbing the mountains,
climbing the quarry.
Exactly. That must have been tough as well. Many ways, I still don't know, because I think a lot of reviews will be coming in from tomorrow onwards. But whatever my perception was, there are several scenes which many would call it progressive in a very different and new manner. Especially, I think when you're just smoking that cigarette at a very crucial juncture in the climax somewhere. Somewhere you're actually making a telling statement. Would you say that it's like a really notable scene as far as maybe Hindi movies is concerned? I think it's not because of the cigarette smoking. That I think it doesn't make it. I think it's just the intensity. The intensity between the two characters in that. I hope you're talking about the climax, right? Yes. I think it's the intensity between the two characters. I think it's the exchange of the eyes. It's like that, the predator and the prey. It's that kind of engagement that the two have, and the silence of that whole thing. That kind of, there's nothing actually happening in that scene if you notice. Right. But I think that's what makes it so powerful. That kind of control and restraint that's there in that scene. It could have become like over the top and like very climax-ish, But the fact that we kind of in the writing, in Navdeep's direction, it's all control, it's all restraint, which is the whole film actually, if you look at it. Nothing is like overt, nothing is over the top. So even the cigarette smoking is just by the way. It's not like, it's a cigarette smoking, you know what I mean? I think that's what makes the film so cool. Many people may say that in a way it's like a role reversal as far as gender equations are concerned. Many a times the expected thing will be that the guy will be just overpowering the woman. Here, like a woman is actually just getting the best of so many men. Can you look at it? Because I noticed a tweet as well of one of the girls that I know, and she has mentioned the same thing as well. I think you have retweeted that as well, I believe. Somewhere women may look at it from that perspective as well. That I think women would, in a way, like it's like liberation for them. I think women would, but I'll tell you how I saw it to perform it. At the moment something like this happens to you, you're not a woman, you're not a man. You're just a person who has completely lost kind of almost nothing. You become like a stone, And at that time, there's no man, no woman. You're not thinking like that. Something pushes you so much. It corners you so much. It kind of puts you down so much that you kind of lose everything. There's no fear. And then what comes out? The person that comes out, there is no gender difference. There is no man, there is no woman. Then it's just a survivor. It's that your courage. It's all that kind of falls falls down. This whole man, woman, everything.
Maybe people can perceive it differently. I think that particular scene. Somewhere that entire equation that you have with Deepti Naval as well. I think she's having a very small role, but I think what she's managed.
Yes.
That transformation from empathy to antipathy, that the way it happens. I think it's really electrifying. You enjoy working with someone like Deepti Naval?
Absolutely. I think she's so critical to the film. Her character and her presence is so critical to the film. In fact, with Navdeep and we were discussing this, and he spoke about wanting to cast Deepti Naval. At that time, for us, Deepti Naval saying yes to the film was like how someone goes to like a huge star to get a film to do. It was like that because she's so critical to our film. She was like the star like that, because when she's so unassuming, you wouldn't imagine her character to behave the way the character behaves. So it's kind of like that, and that's what we needed, someone like her, because for some it couldn't be an obvious casting.
You guys have had I think some roadblocks as far as the censor is concerned, and today in fact Ashok Pandit he has written a column in Bollywood Hungama, and he has mentioned about the sort of troubles that NH10 face, primarily because of Mr. Pelaj Nilani. Would like to talk about it because we spoke to Mr. Mukesh Bhatt as well, and there was a point of time that you were contemplating going the High Court route as well.
Because that was the time when we were being told that we will not get a certification at all.
Right.
Which is what happened for our first screening. So that was a bit alarming and like surprising that we won't get a certification at all. That didn't make any kind of sense to us. And when you watch the film and you have seen the film, so you'll understand it's not like really like something that can't be certified, right?
Right.
That was the time that we were contemplating doing something like that. But then when we went to the reviewing committee, see, honestly speaking, we would have obviously liked to not have any cuts because at the end of the day, it's an adult film. So whatever's there in an adult film it's supposed to be content that can be watched by adults. To have cuts in that, then it doesn't make any sense to me. Then we should have been in a UA film, From that logic, we are thinking, and then you just give us when we went for A, we thought that with what we have, it should be an A. Otherwise we would have cut it on our own. I mean, as people, like I said, everyone has an inherent censorship within them.
Right.
Because you calculate all these things because you don't want these issues to come up in the end. So you, from the time you start making the film, you're calculating, yaar, ye zyada nahi ho jana chahiye, wo zyada nahi ho jana chahiye. So tumne already kara hua hai. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, yes, we were thinking that if we don't get a certification, what are we supposed to do? We already have made the film, right?
And it was delayed by 1 week primarily because of that.
But then after that, because we didn't get a screening from the censor board. But after that, now when the film, they gave us the cuts that they gave, we obviously were not very happy about it. We would have liked to not have any picture cuts. But when we saw the film and we'd already pushed the film by 1 week, and it's not a very, if the film stays with us for longer, we just keep adding on to the expenses of the film. It's not something that anyone of us wanted obviously to happen for us. We saw the film with the changes and we realized that maybe it's not like we don't have to kind of make compromises with our vision. So we went ahead with it. But we had made a responsible film.
In terms of technicalities, I think there are a lot of very interesting parts. The way the edit patterns have been, like the car is moving on the road, and suddenly the way the entire inverted images and the way it is coming, I think it has an impact. As a viewer, it has an impact on people. Something different from what we're used to it. And even in terms of background music and the songs, the way they have been used, I think there's a Shilpa Rao song, I think the Unplugged number, which is beautifully used as well. So something about the technicality is part of it, that somewhere people will be, I think, speaking about the
I think it's Navdeep. It's all Navdeep. I think he's a very, very technically very, very sound director. I think it's because of this education that he's had. He's worked. He's not only studied in LA, but he's also worked there. So he has that very Western kind of approach or something. But at heart he's Desi. So his scripts are always going to be that. So I think he's like the perfect blend of that. He has that kind of modern technique as a director, and then his understanding of what happens around in this country. And it's also like, so he's like very well aware that when the two of them come together, it kind of gives you like a new visual experience. I think that's what everyone's reacting to. Nothing is too much. Nothing is overt. It's slick. It's an edgy, slick film.
Right.
It's like the kind of films that we all grew up liking, and he's managed to do that in a very Indian, adapted, very, very typically Indian setting. What
sort of international release are you planning in terms of, would like to just maybe have subtitles or maybe dub it, and something of this sort? I think internationally should be appreciated.
We had considered it at the beginning. We were thinking about like maybe we should send it to like the festivals, or we were planning on doing that, but then we were not ready and even didn't make it to the deadline because it was just not working out. Right now we're having a regular release that you would have in your UK, US and UAE.
Right.
So it's releasing there. And if it does well, then maybe we'll increase the number of screens that we release in.
And now this year you'll be having like back-to-back releases. You had a PK in December, you're having NH10 now, and then you're having Bombay Velvet, and there's Dil Dhadakne Do after that. So it's going to be like a very, very busy time for you, and the backache, I think you'll need a lot of physiotherapy sessions, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so,
it's already happening.
Right. So looking forward to Bombay Velvet, and
really looking forward to Bombay Velvet. Really am.
Right.
The trailer should be out this month, so it's like
in March itself.
Yeah, so it's like one thing gets over and like the other one just starts to happen for me. Right, this year it's all been like that. But I'm very happy that they're very different films, you know, like when you'll see me in each of these films, you'll see a different me. So I think that versatility as an actor is a dream for every actor. So I'm very happy that I'm able to have that and able to showcase that, because that's all that I wanted, you know. When I came into the industry, that's what I wanted to do. It took me some time to getting there, but I wanted to manage to do this.
Like yesterday at the screening, quite a few media guys, we were just discussing. You're a potential national award, I think, contender with NH10. So something of that sort you'd like to have in your kitty?
It's damn scary. Don't say that. I don't like to expect from awards and stuff like that, because then, you know, then you feel bad. So it's just best. Like when it happens, it's great. Like just celebrate it the time you get the news. But till then, like nothing. Till then, honestly speaking, if the kind of response I mean, I'll tell you what. Like when Rajkumar Hirani saw the film and he praised the film.
Yeah, I think
Abhijat Joshi,
he rarely tweets.
And he rarely tweets. He's got some 27 tweets. He's put in one of those tweets happens to be this. So he has really liked the film. So for me, that was like, I was like, oh my god. And Abhijat Joshi, who has just spoken, he sent me a message in the morning, he sent a message to Sudeep and everyone, you know, he was just like, you know, only a very, very amazing person, like, you know, these guys who are so good in their own craft and such good human beings, can they have this kind of appreciation for somebody else? I always say that, you know, if you're an artist, you will be able to appreciate another person's art. You know, you won't have kind of animosity towards the person. And the way these guys spoke about it, he spoke to me for 45 minutes about the film, you know. For me, yesterday, that was the highlight. Listening to him just speak about the film, they brought up, they remembered everything, they were talking about it, and they just spoke to Navdeep and they spoke to Sudeep, and it was just amazing. So for me, that is that's what gives me that kind of satisfaction. And
Sudeep Sharma's writing, I think it's a very, very important cog in the wheel, because it's like the narrative is like very.
So the greatest writers our country has today, and I'm not.
He's part of your next production as well.
And he's also written another film for us, and I think he is phenomenal and just such a genuine person. I mean, he's a great friend, and you know, I call him my brother. I'm just really, really happy that along the way that I've been in this industry, I've managed to not only work with talented people but meet such lovely people, because for me that's very important. For me, people are very important. Even in our company, you know, we want to work with like people who have the kind of same love that we have for movies, and just amazing people like these, and so is Navdeep, and I'm just really glad, that I'm so happy for them, you know, for Navdeep and for Sudeep, for them to have. Navdeep was waiting for so many years, a great director like him, and he had it released after so many years.
Absolutely.
But he stayed his ground, and you know, he still made a good film, and it's not easy, man. We all know that. I mean, once you enter the industry, then it's like staying in there and not having a film. It's terrible. And even Sudeep, you know, his film he's been writing. He was actually a IIM graduate, and he left his job, high-paying job, and became a writer, you know, and then waited for so many years, and now he has this thing. So I'm really like feeling very proud, you know, of them, and feeling so happy for them.
Many would say that you're going to become a female icon in India. I'll tell you why. There are several places where you're emerging as a very strong individual, and the sort of disdain that you have for certain things in the movie. It's coming across in a very subtle manner. I'll just give you an example, like when you're there in the loo in the dhaba, and you see something written on the loo wall, and the way you just rub it off, and the vengeance with which you're rubbing it off. And even when you see a certain thing in the second half before the climax, certain situation where you see something similar, and the sort of anger that it fills you with. I'm sure that a lot of women will identify with that
I have experienced that, you know. I have, when I've used public loos, like when I've traveled as a young girl, when I've traveled, you know, and my father was in the army, we used to travel by road a lot, and we would stop at all these places and restrooms, and you know, they would write numbers of girls, you know, like cell phone numbers, and for a good time call this one, and you know, it is so disgusting, and it is so frustrating to read something like that, you know, and all girls will agree, and it's pathetic that like sick minds get down to doing such things, you know. It's really sad.
In these times when your movie is releasing, and the way India's daughter has been banned, and we're having a lot of debate which is going on somewhere. Do you feel that it's high time that some concrete steps are taken, so that
you know, I have a huge issue with you know, this whole ostrich syndrome, where you know, it's something is uncomfortable, hide and don't think about it, don't look at it, because it's a very, you kind of regress yourself and you regress a society that way, and a regress society is like a pressure cooker building up, you know. It's just going to one day pop, like go up like that,
right,
you know. And it's a very scary thing. I think it's very important. Like in my house, we were always encouraged to talk. So in my house, we were encouraged to talk to my father. I would talk to my father about everything, like everything, you know. And I don't come from a know, someone can, oh, you guys come from, I come from a regular background. My parents come from Dehradun, you know, they grew up there. So I come from a very regular place, but it's because my mindset of my family was so different. My parents were like, they thought like so, you know, in such a today's time, like you keep changing with time, that you got to kind of face issues, you know, like let's not talk about it, it's uncomfortable, let's not get into it and stuff like that. And that's a little scary, and that's where all this is coming out from. It actually starts from families, right? If something issue happens in your family and you say, किसी को बताना मत, किसी को बोलना मत, हम कुछ छुपा के रखते हैं चीज़ों को.
Right.
और वही बड़े लेवल पे फिर हम उसको बैन करते हैं, फिर हम ये करते हैं. And it's sad, yeah, because you know we are a country which is kind of getting recognized internationally on many levels, and this just doesn't seem right.
Finally, you'd also mentioned that Zoya Akhtar as a writer is something that has fascinated you. So looking forward to Dil Dhadakne Do, and I believe Priyanka has sung a song for you in the movie.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
It was pretty awesome actually. I was singing, so it was hearing Priyanka. I think she's done a fabulous job. She's sung beautiful songs. She has a great voice, and you know she's got that nice seductive kind of voice, and yet it's fun also. So this is her first Hindi song. So yeah, we have a fantastic playback singer in the market now, and she's like just superb. So I was very happy. We could keep laughing because she's also sung her. So basically she's also sung it, but it's like the end. You know how Zoya has this one song where everyone comes together in the end.
Okay.
So it's that kind of like a celebratory song.
Okay, and experience of working with Zoya?
It's wonderful. She's a top-class director, and I think her intelligence is just supreme, and the way in which she understands human relationships and people's weaknesses, and kind of shows them as what they are. Just, you know, everyone can have weaknesses. I think that's just beautiful about her.
What's the reaction of your parents to NH10?
Very thrilled. Yesterday my father didn't sleep, so he was not even well, but he didn't sleep because he's like, because he knew that we had the first trial and everything. So you know, for them it's like उनके दोनों बच्चे कुछ कर रहे हैं साथ में.
Exactly, your brother is there as well.
Yeah, so then they were like, we came back, they wanted to know what was happening, who said what and everything. So they were very, very excited. They were behaving like, it was really cute.
Fantastic. So Anushka Sharma, huge pleasure to have you on Bollywood Hungama, and congratulations for NH10 and for I think taking a brave step, and I genuinely hope that people appreciate it, and I think people will appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hope that it becomes a box office success as well, and looking forward to more stuff from you as far as your productions and the sort of stuff that you want to do.
Yes.
And thank you very much and all the best wishes. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching. Hi, this is Faridoon Shahryar. For the most interesting celebrity interviews, do subscribe to Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.